Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode, if we can even call this, if we can even dignify this podcast with the term episode. Another event of Mormonism After Dark. It's November 8th. It's 2024. I'm in my tux. Bill's in whatever it is he's wearing.
It's a, t-shirt and a dinner jacket. It's like how the 8th grade history teacher would get away with it. You remember him? He would just wear the t-shirt and he'd just put on the dinner jacket and then wear a pair of blue jeans and thought that was
the history teacher?
Enough. Yeah.
Well, I guess all kids in the United States didn't have the same history teacher.
Yeah, guess not.
However, oh my gosh, I'm just really happy to be here with you, Bill. It's been a kind of a eventful week, and I'm just talking about jury duty. I got summoned into jury duty. Can you believe it?
That is one of the least things that people want to do. Everybody who gets called to jury duty is like, oh my goodness, how do I get out of this? How do I get out of this jury duty?
Yeah. And it's unfortunate, of course, because as we learn in civics, or as we should learn in civics, the jury trial is one of the cornerstones of the entire justice system.
Yeah, but they only pay you like $14 for the entire service, and then they give you like a ham sandwich every day. So I would rather just eat my own food selection and get paid a little more to do that.
Well, not everything's about money, Bill.
Well, that's true. But it isn't about money. It's about pretty much getting you for free for a long period of time when it wasn't consensual.
Yes, fortunately, I got kicked kind of early on both the juries that I was called into.
How'd you get out of that?
Well, I didn't. In one case, the first one was going to be a criminal trial.
Yeah.
So it was in this certain courtroom on the second floor of the courthouse over here. And everybody's in there. We're all in the pews, right?
Yeah.
The benches going back where the panel sits.
Yeah.
We got our numbers assigned and everything. And the prosecutor up there, who's sitting at the prosecution table, she's by herself. I won't say her whole name. Her first name is Haley.
Okay.
She's sitting up there. She's reviewing all the little information sheets. I'll back up a second. When you get summoned into jury duty, at least here, there's a little information sheet you're supposed to fill out with occupation, these kinds of things. It's not very detailed. But whether you served on a jury before, if you've ever been convicted of a crime, things like that. So she, as well as the defense at the other table, they have a copy of all of these jury questionnaires, and they can review them as part of their voir dire or their jury selection. Okay, so having said all of that, Haley's up there. I'm in the back row. It's a crowded courtroom. And I can see her, and the judge isn't out yet. We haven't really started. And I'm looking at my cell phone because I was texting some. And I had a text from Haley, and it just had a snapshot of my jury questionnaire form that she had in front of her, and where I put down the occupation, podcaster.
Yeah, instead of lawyer.
And she says, under the picture that she sends, podcaster, love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But what happened there is that surprisingly, but conveniently, the defendant, who never actually showed up in court, pleaded out. Okay, so jury not needed, got to go home or leave, actually, back to the office before noon. And then something happened that was Tuesday, and the following day was Wednesday, right? I had to go back there. That was, on a work night, because we have Mormonism live on Wednesdays. So I was worried they would shut it down by 4:30. I'd be able to be over here in time for.
Yeah, but it still makes you nervous.
A little bit, but you had you'd done such a great job preparing. I'd thrown in a few things already, and I figured we were pretty well ready to go if that happened, but it didn't. It didn't. Once again, very crowded courtroom. It's actually the biggest courtroom here. and it's on the other end of the floor, the second floor from the first courtroom that I was in on Tuesday. And the judge, after you get through with some preparatory stuff, judge came out, and it was Elizabeth. Once again, I won't say her last name. And I'm in the back row again. But the first question she asks is, does anybody, by the way, this was a certain kind of trial. I won't bother getting into detail about it. Don't need to. It was like a criminal trial.
Yeah.
I'll put it that way. And she asked, does anybody here know me or any of the attorneys or the defendant? And I raised my 123 number. That's what it was, 123. And nobody else. And the judge, identified me by name because, of course, she knows me.
Yeah.
And basically suggested to the attorneys that they might want to peremptorily challenge me, which means let me go for cause. And they did, and I was.
Yeah.
So once again, I was back at the office before noon.
Right. They ask you some questions that clarify whether the outcome of the case could be influenced by you in an unfair way because of your experience or the perspective you bring to it. And they can disqualify, each side can disqualify a certain number of jurors, correct?
Two different types of challenges. One is peremptory challenge, which
Yeah.
is a challenge for cause. I believe it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So there's a reason, or
Yeah.
maybe I have it backward. I apologize. But I know that a challenge for cause is there is a reason that you are asking the judge
Right.
to let this prospective juror go.
It doesn't count against
If the
either
judge
one of
agrees
them.
with you, then you can there's no limit to the number
Yeah.
of people that can be challenged because they can't be fair
Yeah.
in this particular kind of a proceeding. I think peremptory challenge is what I'm thinking of, where each side typically over here in a felony case gets 6 peremptory challenges, which means you can kick anybody off that panel.
Any reason.
No reason at all.
Yeah.
With one minor qualification, which is it can't be for a racial reason. Okay, but that's its own area of the law. It's a separate part, but it's connected to it. But the general rule is, peremptory challenge, you don't have to give any reason at all. Judge doesn't have to agree. Judge can't disagree. Nobody can object.
I can see certain cases where you would want to be able to discriminate based on race as a lawyer to make the elimination of certain jurors that might impact the case because of the racial dynamics of the case itself. Would you, in those situations, would you disqualify them for no reason and just never sort of have to say out loud the reason that's the reason? Or is it simply that you can't be internally racist yourself in how you make your decision?
These challenges, which bring in this component, a Batson challenge after the name of the case, I think Supreme Court case, having to do with making it so that attorneys are less able to discriminate, to kick people off of a jury because of their race and how it may or may not relate to the race or any other issue in the case.
Yeah.
Classic example, if you're in there and, what would a classic example be? It would have to do with, generally up here, it's kicking a black person off the jury. Okay.
Yeah.
Those are the cases that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I typically am more up to date on the case law in my state than I am on federal case law.
Yeah, totally.
But that's the classic thing. And because, of course, your client is black.
Yeah.
And so it's not going to be, it's all coming back to me now, folks. This is how it happens. It's not the defense attorney who has the black client who's on trial for some kind of crime, right? Who is kicking the black person, like maybe one of the only black people in the jury panel, off. It's the prosecutor.
Yeah.
That's how it happens, at least in criminal cases.
It's blatant. It doesn't make any logical sense.
Well, right.
Yeah.
See, if you're in a situation where it's not a peremptory challenge, which is the freebies we talked about that can't be challenged or can't be overruled.
Mm.
Then you have to explain your reasons to
Yeah.
the judge. The other side's usually going to argue against it. Sometimes they agree. But, and then the judge has to make a call as to whether this juror can be fair and impartial in this case.
Mm.
So when you do a peremptory challenge that is racially suspect, if I can put it that way, I'm not saying it's racially motivated, but it's racially suspect.
Yeah.
Then the law here in the state has been being tweaked. Washington State, over the years recently, to where the burden is now fully on the party that exercised the challenge to prove a non-discriminatory purpose.
Yeah. That's all interesting stuff designed to make it fair, and those things play out in really significant ways in how a jury might be formed in certain cases that have maybe heavy leanings, where the majority of the jury might have the risk of sort of being swayed in a direction simply by the nature of the situation. For instance, a story that was in the news that everyone in the entire city knows about. Like, it's hard to sort of have these conversations with jurors, and if a large chunk of them are influenced, you have to sort of keep disqualifying, right? Which is sort of, you can also end up with like a case being judged as having an unfair jury, right?
Yes, that is the evil that all of this procedure,
Yeah.
and it can be a huge process.
Yeah.
Sometimes if it's a misdemeanor, it's not going to be that big a process, but
Right,
they do
right.
go through the process to try and give attorneys a chance to get rid of any potential jurors that are not going to be fair.
Right.
And then you get a certain number of peremptory challenges where you can just kick off anybody
you want for any reason.
Yes.
No reason. No
any reason except for what we already talked about.
Correct. Yeah, that's pretty fascinating how all that works. Do we want to
Diamond
talk?
Dave asked, what happens if you get a summons and don't show up? You get your ass arrested.
Yeah. If not today, soon.
I wish that were true, actually. I wish that were true. I don't necessarily wish it were true. Here's the thing. It's one thing to call into the clerk's office and say, I've got a job I can't get out of. I've got airplane tickets, whatever. I can't be there. And to have yourself excused. Okay. But it's another thing to ignore it entirely.
Yeah.
And after, this was Tuesday when the defendant pleaded out, so we didn't have the jury selection at all. The jury selection hadn't even started yet as of that point.
Yeah.
The judge did come out, and he had told us that he wanted to thank us for being there and make us not feel like such schmoes for having wasted our day or our morning
Right.
over there in court for nothing. By the way, he's he's a good judge. I won't be bothered with his name.
Yeah.
But he is, he told all the people here, including me, he's saying, now, if you need a note for work, because sometimes, your boss needs some proof that you actually, you're not kidding around. You really had to go to be on the jury. Then you can get one down there at the court administrator's office. And then he leans forward and he says conspiratorially, and if you just decide that because it's such a beautiful day out, you don't want to go back to work, we won't tell anybody.
Yeah.
That was nice.
You might have to have been here all day. We can neither confirm nor deny what time Mr. Jones left the building.
Yeah.
That is nice, There are some times you are in a position where you're like, I could get away with a half day.
Did I get to the point I was laboring toward?
I don't know.
Neither
I
do
thought
I.
you made a point there, so.
Okay. Well,
Go
that's my
ahead.
point. That's the point I intended to make, and I'm sticking to that story.
All right. Well, should we bring Mosiah on?
Yes, Mosiah. He's been waiting patiently in the green room. I think we kept
Fine.
him there longer than we kept Rebecca Biblioteca that one time. She's still busting my chops about that.
Good old Rebecca.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Oh, good.
Three
good evening.
Stooges, right?
That's right.
You cut off
That's
the throat,
right.
but they all say together, hello.
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 That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Is
Not true.
Well,
that the fourth Stooge?
Yeah, his name is Ballard.
It's not Shemp after all.
are any of the Four Stooges alive? They all passed away
No, I
now.
don't think so.
I think
They've all-
they're gone.
They've all gone
Yeah.
back to Heavenly
They
Father.
would be older than President Nelson.
Yeah, and I wasn't talking Ballard there. I was talking about Shemp and Curly, the two sort of interchangeable ones.
Oh, no one could replace Curly, but I know what you mean.
Yeah, it was their best attempt.
Yeah. Mo and Larry Howard? I think they were the brothers. Anyway, regardless, we don't have to get into that stuff. However, that is something that I and some compañeros would do in high school.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Hello. Okay. Now, Mo, what are you doing here? Why are you taking up space on the
man.
screen?
Well, apart from the array of microphones I have set up, I have a game that I'd like to play with you guys.
What is that
Show.
game?
So this is Celestial Pursuit. This is.
Hold on a minute. Did you say celestial?
So,
He did.
I wasn't
I
paying
caught
attention.
him.
I was looking over at the live chat.
Freudian
I
slip.
apologize.
I thought you were giving us the TK smoothie before the game even started.
Brazilian.
that's after Dark.
No.
Okay.
Hey, I'll be here. The same link works.
Nice.
At this point, I don't even know what we're talking about, but it's funny. All right. So, Mo, that's Celestial Pursuit. That was a big deal back in the 80s. I remember because it was a ripoff of a much bigger deal called Trivial Pursuit.
And it was featured on Murder Among the Mormons. Mark Hoffman apparently was a aficionado of this game.
Oh, I see. Because he was so smart.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Not very smart in the end, but he was pretty clever.
Am I facing off against RFM? Is that how this is going to work?
That's
Because I'm a
the
little
idea.
nervous. There's certain areas I think I can match with him, but like if he knows where his scriptures are, so if you read something and he'll know it's 3rd Nephi 3:11 before I'm even sure it's in the Book of Mormon.
Well, so what I did, Bill, is I tried to find some questions that had some sports and just kind of like some Mormon celebrities, like generally. But the problem is this was made in the 80s. And so some of this stuff is just so old, I don't think anybody knows it at this point. But
Well, you may be right. You may be right.
But we did test this out the other day, and I found RFM. I found the card that I had sent you. So if we want to just kind of test this out here, so I would ask a question like, "What is the name of the federal law prohibiting polygamy?"
And I'm going to let RFM answer that, but
RFM
I could guess, but it would definitely be wrong.
Yeah, this is one that he had sent me the front of before, and I told him without looking at the back because I can't because I only have the picture of the front. The Edmunds-Tucker Act.
Yeah.
It was really big in. Thank you. It was
That's
big
right.
in vaudeville. The Edmunds-Tucker
Dun, dun,
Act.
dun.
Mhm. That's right.
I would not have even gotten close.
So let me jump over to.
Can I have Dan Vogel come into the studio and be on my team? Can me and
That's
Dan
right.
face against RFM? That
I'll
would
tell
be
you what, we could do that to even it out, or I could have, like, I don't know, Cardinellis on my team. That should even it out.
Perfect. I love it. You and Dan Vogel are even. Me and Cardinellis are even. I love it. This is going to be a great game.
Does
Oh,
Cardin ever
boy.
watch this and see what fun we have at his expense?
No, I don't think they are. I think they're. Have you seen Quakey's not even on the show anymore?
Yeah, I know.
What is that all about?
Well, he went big into reincarnation.
Yeah.
And that got him sort of kicked off, you think?
Yeah. That's his version of futures.
it's hard to come back from reincarnation.
Yeah. Like,
Somebody.
how's his investments
Okay.
doing, RFM?
That was a good one.
It was.
I'll have to review this when I'm sober and see if it's as funny then.
I think it's a subset of people, but I think they just laugh their ass off.
Oh my gosh. Because literally, he's got a video out where he's now sporting the 70s porno stash.
Yeah.
And
definitely not wearing the garments anymore with those t-shirts, those wife beaters.
No. And
reincarnation.
Talking all about reincarnation and how it's the truth, and I think he's trying to get people to join up with him.
Huh. I love he's an apostate, huh?
Who would have ever thought Kwaku would become a cult leader?
To that point, he tried to say that this has nothing to do with Chad Daybell, because Daybell was all about the multiple mortal probations.
Yeah, that's different.
Totally different.
By about this much. Oh man. He kind of jumped the shark, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I guess that remains to be seen. I mean, you got Kerry Shirts. He's suddenly he's left Mormonism behind, and now he's doing all these UFO videos, and viewership's going through the roof.
We all can grow and we all can learn.
What's that?
We all can grow and we all can learn.
We can grow and learn.
Who is that? I mean, it sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but it's not quite that severe an accent.
I'm not sure who that is, actually.
Well, where did this come from?
Richard Simmons.
Someone just jumped in on my phone and saying stuff. You know how it is.
Okay.
No, it's a sound effect I just dropped.
Kwaku has got a bigger bubble than we do. On the chart the church has, where the dangers in the church, there's...
Oh, I see the Kwaku bubble.
Kwaku's got a bubble that's bigger than with the work that we're doing. He just like jumped the shark and ended up being sort of
I'm
like
glad you explained that.
Get him out of here.
This sounds all weird. I get it.
How many buttons do you have?
Oh, I've got so many. I'm holding back, but
I can't manage 3 over here. So here's the thing.
Green
Okay,
Mountain Boy.
Are you just reading these? You don't put the card up? Is that part of the deal?
Yeah, I mean, I've got them here on the cards, and I'm just reading them off.
Okay. So here's the thing. What would be fun, I think, would be, did I mention College Bowl before? Was that the point I was laboring toward?
Yeah, the College Quiz Bowl, yeah.
Okay, yeah, College Quiz Bowl, right? The College Bowl, they would call it, and there would be...
Okay.
And there would be 4 nerds from one college versus
Out your doubts.
versus 4 nerds from another college. I'm going to get this out, damn it. And then there'd be a person there with the questions, and this one's a toss-up. I remember that because I had no idea what he was talking about. I was only 9 years old. But they would ask these questions, which were mind-blowing to a 9-year-old. And these people knew the answers. I had no idea what they were talking about, but I found it very impressive that these people actually knew the answers to things. I had no clue what the words were.
Yeah.
It'd be fun if we could arrange this so we have a friendly competition with somebody. It could be me, Bill, Rebecca, Biblioteca against Psych Ward Radio, for instance. That would be fun, wouldn't it?
That'd be a nice little fun little challenge, huh?
It would. It would be a lot of fun. What the heck?
It is as though he's been unleashed.
Should we let the original 3, or do we want the
Wendy Nelson? I knew that one.
Do we want the new guy with the what's it called? The fulcrum?
I don't know. He may be in the process of reincarnating.
Do we want to play against the 3 of them? The 3 original amigos, or we just leave Fulcrum guy off to the side?
He's gone into the chrysalis stage, I think.
Yeah. So Kwaku, Cardinellis, and Brad Whitbeck.
Yeah, whatever. Bring on your champions.
Cardin doesn't even know the names of the members of the first presidency, according to Cardinellis.
No, but he knows how to lie.
He's not going to do good in celestial trivia or celestial trivia. He
totally knows how to lie about it, though, because he was lying when he said that.
You're right.
Yeah.
So he couldn't come on and do really good at that. That would pretty much indicate that he was lying. If he was really good at celestial trivia.
Well, I'll tell you something. If this were ever to happen, and I don't think it will, Although it's tough if you're Psych Word Radio and you turn down an invitation, a request, a challenge. Is that a challenge, Scott? To this kind of trivia competition about church things, about Mormonism.
Yeah.
Because then you're saying, not only do I not know as much as they do, I know I don't know as much as they do.
Yeah. And everybody else then goes, well, they don't know as much as they do.
And that's okay. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that, guys. I am much older than you, probably than all of you put together.
This will be way better than a debate, RFM. I would love this.
Not true.
So did you have any other questions from any other card? Oh, this was what I was going to say. Mo, are you still there, Mo?
Yes.
The problem is, if this were ever to happen, we cannot use the Celestial Pursuit cards. Because someone unscrupulous might take it into their minds. With 3 people on my team, I'll give a third of the cards to one person, a third of the cards to the next person, and a third of the cards to myself. Go through them, learn all the answers, and wow the yokels.
Yeah.
Not saying I would ever do that. I'm surprised they even thought of such a scheme, actually. So it would have to be new questions.
That's right.
Made up by a person or persons that both teams feel confident can do so without leaking them to one side or the other.
You know, like a Jim Bennett, for instance. If somebody like that was willing to moderate handling the questions.
Well, I would trust Jim Bennett. He was first on the list, remember, for the debate?
Yeah.
The bulletproof vest debate, as it's come to be known?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was the one who was going to do it. I asked him, he said yes, because I didn't think excuse me.
Maybe Sean McCraney, who we all know.
The Midnight Mormons, the M&Ms.
Yeah.
I did not think they would have any objection to Jim Bennett, but then they did. It was probably because I suggested it. Excuse me. It's probably because I suggested it. But Jim was somewhat hurt when I had to call him up and say, sorry, amigo, you are no bueno.
But they okayed Sean McCraney.
Yeah.
So maybe Sean McCraney would be a...
Because they picked Sean
trust.
McCraney. And I said, fine.
Yeah.
They had no idea at the time what good friends Sean and I were.
Right. And if a third party created the questions all around Mormonism, and those 3 went against us 2, that would be an interesting, fun little game, wouldn't it?
It would.
It would be quite enjoyable.
Dan Vogel would do great, but you see, I don't think they would trust him.
No.
Because, he's Dan Vogel.
Yeah. And they couldn't pick like Robert Boylan because we wouldn't trust him.
No.
No.
I would not trust Robert Boylan.
Or Mike Parker. We couldn't trust Mike Parker if he was the one that was selected.
You know what his friends call Robert? They call him, I think I've used this joke before. They call him Robert Boyle on my ass. That's what they call Robert.
Oh, I got a Robert Boylan removed last month. Taken right off.
We're back to that. I think the audience is very happy that we're back to that.
Stephen
This audience has been wanting a Boyle on Bill Reel's app update for weeks now.
We couldn't have a Stephen Smoot be the third party. We wouldn't trust him either.
Stephen Bukake Smoot.
The Boo. Stephen the Boo. All right.
Problem is he gets those question cards kind of sticky.
Well, at least you know he's been perusing them.
A lot of study.
Absolutely. No, he's never going to live that down.
This is a contest I think I like a lot. I hope
If he dies before I die, I'm sneaking into the graveyard by the dark of night and carving Bukake between the names Stephen and Smoot.
Yeah. They might, by the way, the Midnight Mormons, they might kick our ass. But I think this is a contest I would really love to see. So maybe they win. Maybe we go into double overtime and they kick our ass. But we should find out. Do you think they'd have like the earpieces that Oaks used a few years ago and he was lip syncing everything
Super Bowl this year too?
Wait, what's that?
And the Browns could win the Super Bowl this year too.
I'm just telling you. They could have an earpiece like Oaks had with Nelson when he repeated the words like 3 seconds later. Nelson was talking to Peggy Fletcher Stack
Oh,
at a
yes.
Salt Lake interview, and
Yes.
Oaks is lip syncing the
Yes.
exact same words.
He was totally
So-
the Grima Wormtongue to President Nelson's Theoden King.
Oh my goodness. You talk about cheating and thinking they're getting away with it.
Oh, yeah.
Those answers were fixed into an earpiece. And Oaks got to hear it too because he had to answer some of the questions too.
Mm.
They should have been smart enough to turn off the other person's thing when certain people were being asked a question or answering.
You were
The
right. sir.
factory works on its own schedule.
Yeah, well, not if I have anything to say about it.
So, Mo, are you doing anything at this point? I mean, in furtherance of the show, other than sound effects.
I'm here. I'm having a good time, and I've got more questions.
We should have like 3 questions for me against RFM and 2 out of 3 wins.
Okay. That
Let's do it,
works.
RFM. This will give these guys a chance to kind of figure out.
I already told Mo what my weak suit is, as if everybody couldn't guess.
Yeah, well, just randomly pick them.
Okay, well, I've got a selection here. Let me see. So here's one. Question: who tricked a sleeping Gordon Hudson into going forward to give a closing prayer during an early pause in testimony meeting?
J. Golden Kimball.
Think again, sunshine.
Hey, that's funny. I have no idea. I've never heard of the Hudson. Was he one of the Hudson brothers?
Gordon Hudson. I had to look this guy up. He was a football player for BYU.
So Paul H. Dunn.
Think again, sunshine.
I figured Paul H. Dunn might have been one of his teammates.
The answer is Steve Young.
Steve Young, that devil.
That's right.
So yeah, and this Gordon Hudson guy, if you look up his Wikipedia, it's kind of a weird story. He's did not have a good life. It's kind of tragic.
That's why you're laughing, of course.
Yeah, naturally. I mean, if you like they say, if you don't laugh, you cry.
Hey, RFM. Nathan is down below, and he wants to come onto the show. He says he wants to be on my team against you, and he feels like this will make it fair.
I think that we're already even. You didn't know the answer. I didn't know the answer. You're stacking the deck against me now.
I'll tell you what. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put Nathan on, and I'm gonna take myself off.
Does everybody live in that same damn house?
Yeah,
Fantastic, then.
What the hell?
broadcasting from Diamond Dave's apartment.
Diamond
Jeez.
Dave and Dives Lazarus's studio. You guys are all working together in cahoots. This is beginning to get old.
This is like the horror movie. This is like the horror movie version of Three's Company.
Oh, Nathan, Mosiah is going to ask a question. I am not going to participate. You against RFM in a no holds barred, 2 questions only. We got 2 questions. To win, you have to get both of them.
Oh wow, double or
Okay.
nothing.
Are you framing this as me against Nathan?
You against Nathan. I'm out of it, folks.
What
But it
is
is still.
this?
Hold on.
I feel like Brad Pitt in the movie Troy.
No. This is still Bill against RFM. Was he no good in that one or what?
I can't explain it. If you know, you know. If you know, you know.
Nathan either gave you a courtesy laugh or he knew.
Okay. But anyway, why, Nathan, tell us about yourself. Who are you and why do you challenge me in so insolent a manner?
Well, part of it is that I grew up with this game.
Bill against RFM, but he's my pinch hitter.
Did you really grow up with it? Maybe you're
I
older
did.
than you look.
We had this game before we had any Trivial Pursuit boxes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let the games begin.
Oh. In the words of Hiram Smith, I am a dead man.
All right, you ready for the next question?
Hit us. Hit Nathan and I.
Don't do the sports ones.
Okay, skipping sports.
Is that because you're a dead ringer for the sports ones, Nathan?
I am not. I don't do sports.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. What does the J stand for in Marvin J. Ashton?
Jingleheimer Schmidt.
Marvin
J.
J. Ashton. Well, he's in Ireland. Isn't Marvin J. Ashton one of Ballard's grandparents? So I would guess.
Whoa!
Joseph,
You don't get to ask questions.
for Joseph.
No hands.
I'm talking through my answer. My guess is Joseph.
Naya.
Was it Yumping Yemeni?
The answer is Jeremy.
I never liked that
My
Marvin
second
Ashton guy.
guess.
I always got him confused with
Marvin Jeremy
Faust.
Ashton.
I could see that.
He would have had a whole different career if he would have just followed the pattern that's been established of just being Jeremy Ashton.
Not true.
And then he might have been. He could have maybe made it into the top 15 if he just went with the age-old tradition of ignoring your first name and going off of your middle name.
That's
He
right.
did make it into the top 15, didn't he?
No, I don't. He made it into a 70. Marvin J. Ashton.
Ashton? No,
Are they?
he was
As
an
we would
apostle.
say in Japan.
Yeah,
What's
he was
that?
an apostle
Expression of
until
chagrin and surprise.
1994.
Look at that. Word Radio is going to have an easy time, aren't they?
What are you talking about?
They just need to study up on who's in the first presidency.
Marvin J. Ashton.
Was an
He
apostle.
he was an apostle.
I did not know that. I thought he was a 70.
Well, I did not
They-
know that.
I
The
did not
Ash
know
Man
that.
was
Ed,
his
Ed, what do you think about that? It's some
Hey-o.
crazy, wild, wacky stuff.
Oh, is Nathan still here? Nathan, okay.
All
are
right,
you
question
doing?
number 2.
Sorry about that.
Okay, ready for the next one?
Mm.
Okay, which prominent LDS figure once served as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for the church?
Shirley Temple Black.
Ezra Taft Benson.
Well, Ezra Taft Benson was Secretary of Agriculture for the United States, but
Yes.
Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for the church? Is that what it says on there?
That's what it says, even though I think that's typed wrong.
I
Sharon,
think
you
the answer is the Moops.
And
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Nice lady.
That's the Jerky Boys.
That's right.
That's right.
I've got a lawnmower. There's pots they can start. They do all kinds of things. You can see them at your neighbor, your department store.
You sound like Dustin Hoffman to me. Is that what you're trying for?
From The Graduate.
Okay, honey,
yeah.
baby.
Really?
No. I'm doing.
Hello?
Hello, it's from the Jerky Boys. Yeah, Radio
Okay.
Free Mormon.
Thank
I think
you,
you're trying
sweetheart.
to seduce me, Mr. Real.
No, never mind. Do you know what the Jerky Boys is, RFM?
Mm-mm.
It is a bunch of prank callers who became professional prank callers, and they made tapes of all of their phone calls and sold them. And they were as popular as any music group on cassette.
You kidding? When was this?
This
I
would have
missed
been the
this somehow.
1980s.
In
yeah,
the
this was,
80s.
this was after they got rid of Party Lines RFM, so you might not have been paying as close attention.
Right. Well, we had the telephones actually mounted on the wall, and you pick off the thing and hold it to your ear, and you just turn this thing around to get it to go. I miss those suckers.
Operator, where can I patch you through to? Right?
One
That kind
ringy
of thing.
dingy.
One ringy dingy.
You know what that is, Nathan? One ringy dingy.
That one I'm not as familiar with.
Really
I usually do
laughing.
get your references RFM,
Okay.
like my youthful appearance.
I know. I think you're wise beyond your years.
I try.
Did you get that one, Bill? You know, one
No.
ringy dingy.
No, I
Lily
don't.
Tomlin Laugh-In. The operator lady.
I love the board, the old board. And the ladies got to patch everything through because there's 72 people in the town, and
Yep.
you got to be able to, if you're if you're Jenny, you got to be able to call Doc Stone and say that you need some help at the house, and then, or otherwise you got to send Lassie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Timmy's down the well.
Yes, Lassie. What's going on? Oh, emergency? Okay, where are you going?
Nathan, I feel like we're losing you.
No worries. I will say
true.
that I Googled about Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, and it says George Romney was Secretary of HUD.
Wait a second. You cheated.
I already got it wrong earlier.
That's not correct. He doesn't get credit for that. He cheated. Nathan's a cheater.
Mosiah never said in the rule book you couldn't do that. Do you remember Nathan Mosiah saying
understood.
that? Oh, Nathan and I didn't understand it.
Was true. I apologize. My understanding was we had already both gotten it wrong. And so
Okay, very good. It's part of the unwritten order of things, Bill.
Doubt your doubts.
Maybe you haven't heard.
Okay, well then I guess I got it right.
We all
Give Brother Joseph a break.
I still think that the answer should be Shirley Temple Black.
Let me go ahead and just change.
Yeah, but RFM, since when has a woman held a position of authority in the church?
Deseret Book.
That's true.
Sherry Dew is the exception to every rule, aren't you,
It's
Sherry?
as though he's been unleashed.
So you want to know a fun story I have about Sherry Dew? Is we went to. This was when I was growing up. We went to Nauvoo because that's where you go on spring break vacations as a young Mormon child, and we went and the different sites are staffed by senior missionaries. And
that's cray.
We went in, and the senior sister missionary, what her name tag said, Sister Dew, and my mom says, "Oh, are you related to Sherry Dew?" And the woman pauses. She says, "Well, that depends. What do you think about her?" And my mom was like, "Oh, I love her. She's wonderful." She's like, "Okay, then I'm her mother."
Oh, that's very funny.
Oh, that means she's gotten a few negative comments before.
Yeah.
Her mother has a son named Harry, doesn't she? Harry Dew?
Or
Harry and
Honeydew.
Sherry. They were big in vaudeville. Like the Edmund Stucker Act. The ways of RFM are one eternal round. Okay, so was that do you have one more question, and then we got to go to somebody else?
Okay, sounds good.
We got to go to another segment.
Because we're already halfway into the show, and I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of these right. Did you give me an easy one, damn it?
Okay, here's one more that anybody could get.
Okay.
Moroni.
Question. What were Joseph Smith's last words before he was killed?
"Oh Lord, my God."
I am a dead man.
That's right.
That was Hiram. Hiram was "I am a dead man." Joseph was supposed to be part of. Yeah.
Exactly. Holy shit! I didn't see that coming.
If I remember right, it was supposed to be part of the Masonic call for aid, right? Like, "Oh Lord, my God, is there no help for the widow's son?"
You know, there's like 50 people who are now headed for your house to murder you after hearing you say that.
You're getting swatted in 7 minutes before that, too.
Are they going to take out your other two roommates?
The SCMC.
Fantastic, then.
I'll just dive behind dives and I'll be good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Orson Scott Card was the person who, in his rather lengthy and very good novel called Saints, that came out, I think, in the 80s, framed it in such a way as it was a cry of recognition.
Wally.
I thought it was a nice touch.
As in that there were Masons in the mob? Is that the...
No, as in, hey, God, nice to see you again.
I think they do that. That's in the Restoration. That kind of... I feel like that's the impression they give in the Joseph Smith, Prophet of the Restoration movie they did in the early 2000s, because it's kind of as he says it kind of like pans up to the sunlight, a beam of sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
He gets to see the old man again. He's seen him, whatever, 23 times in his life or something.
Yes. It's like he can't get any sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like every night somebody's showing up in his bedroom in a beam of light.
Yeah.
If it's not Jesus, it's Moroni. If it's not Moroni, it's Nephi. If it's not Nephi, it's Adam. And
every night,
Raphael did something too.
Every night's a toga party in the Smith home.
That guy was a machine.
We'll defeat you and your goddamn robots.
Well, Mosiah, thank you for the celestial trivia. And Nathan,
yes.
Thank you for, I think it was, what, 2-0, Nathan, right? That was what we ended up with?
Absolutely. I got trashed. Good
I
job,
think I did the
Nathan.
worst.
We'll send you a genuine gold-plated no prize in the mail.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Y'all have a good night.
Deeply regret that we could not take care of all who wish to come.
Okay, Mo, let us know what the Midnight Mormons say about the College Bowl, okay?
After as bad as we did, it would really look bad if they said no to that, huh?
I know. It's not like we could possibly be doing the rope-a-dope, is it?
That would have been heavily orchestrated, huh?
That's going to be my defense, by the way, for not knowing any of these.
Oh, I love it. Hey, by the way, I think Diamond Dave came into the show, and I think I booted you, Diamond Dave. If I did, I'm really sorry about that.
I think you did. I saw him down there. He'd been waiting for a
come
long
back
time.
in. That was my fault.
His hair.
Completely an accident. So I'll put you in as soon as the next call.
By the way, Diamond Dave combing his hair.
Yeah, sorry about that, Diamond Dave.
He has one of the way, with the really long tines in it and the handle and going from the part, which I don't have.
Yeah. Yeah, he's rocking it. So I've got 2 calls in.
Just because the audience can't see you doesn't mean we can't see you.
Yeah, well, his hair looked better than mine. Let's take a...
I almost added him to the stage right in the middle of his evening ablutions.
What was that last word?
Evening ablutions.
Yeah, well, I didn't need the second to last word, just the last one.
Ablutions?
Ablutions.
Shoot. Now I'm gonna have to look this up. I don't know what I say. Ablution is it's the act of washing oneself.
Gotcha. Diamond Dave is back in. Gabe, let me did you make him, what'd you do there?
What? I didn't do anything, I don't think.
Okay, well that time he left on his own then, because I didn't do it either.
I can't do anything. I have no power here.
Diamond Dave. Okay, I'm gonna grab a call here. Parker, but before I grab a call, by the way, mentioned Dives there. He mentioned Dives at the end.
What?
Yeah, we talked about some sort of then people coming after him and he was gonna hide with Dives.
Oh, Diva.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. Sorry. And he had an episode that came out recently. I was gonna put it up on the screen. I thought this was hilarious. By the way, I just watched this a little bit before the show. Let's see here. Present screen. Share screen.
Hang in there, Dave.
Yeah. Hang in, Dave. We're gonna get to you. Folks, this one right here, this exclusive interview, Bill Reel and Radio Free Mormon, explosive political revelations. I listened to it before the show. I thought it was hilarious. I thought Dives did a fantastic job of walking sort of the line of being funny and humorous. And I thought I laughed out loud like 8, 10, 11 times. I did. And the stuff you say... Oh, it's like maybe 15, 20 minutes long. It's long.
I could manage that, I think.
And the lines that he uses from the things we say, if I was watching his video, I'd have been like, I have to check out this Mormonism After Dark. These guys are saying some crazy lines. I got to figure out the context that these are showing up in. And anyway, I thought he did a great job. It was hilarious. I laughed a bunch at it. So folks, you might want to check that out. All right, now let's put Diamond Dave.
Big of you, Bill.
Yeah, I really did. It was how we felt.
You'll be getting angry letters from Steve Pineker's attorneys in the morning.
I can't wait. I'm everybody's enemy by this time. All right.
Oh God, how you guys doing?
Diamond Dave, how are you?
Good. So you did not boot me. I left because I set my background screen to be the exact same as Nathan's, and I was trying to get on so we both could be on the same time and ask Dives to pay when he's going to pay rent. But
that would have been hilarious.
That didn't. I mean, Dives. I don't have a problem. Dives. I think he's cool. So I'm sure
that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Dive, they shut the gas off yesterday, dude.
Yeah, I know, right? Just Bobby be like, hey, why is the water not on in the same house we all live in? Like, try to take a shower and
I'm sorry, porch time.
Dives,
I don't know who porch time is. Oh, I think I do know who porch time is, or at least who one of them is, because I watched their show the other night. It says it's divas. That's right. That's what I've been saying. Diva.
I've been saying dive, so that's, I guess, I don't know. I've heard other people say it, so I just go with it.
Oh, goodness. All right.
It's an impossible name, really. Only a complete maniac would choose that.
I mean, I don't know. It's too fancy for me, so that's probably why kids say it.
Like, you wear yourself out trying to figure out how to pronounce it.
Yeah, he's cool though. He's cool.
He is. That was fantastic.
Are you combing some conditioner into your hair right now, Diamond Dave?
Dry shampoo.
I'm sorry. What?
Dry shampoo? Dry shampoo.
No, it's just a comb. You can't quite see it because of my camera, but
we see it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Yeah. This is what I do. What I do to pass the time.
Okay.
You know.
You've got a very, very nice head of hair, I must say.
Thank you. And Candace, I've been in Fallout since like 2015. Since it came out, I only started making videos on that recently. But
if I could get your head of hair by killing you, you'd be a dead man. And that's the nicest thing I could say about you.
I mean, I'd be fine with that.
I wouldn't.
But I can't. I'm left with what I got, and it ain't much, but it's mine.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. It's a Mormon spelling of Dave. Nice.
Diamond Dave, DD.
Yes. So,
calling us tonight?
Well, I was going to call in, like I said, to kind of pull off the joke with the whole save background thing. But did you guys, because I went outside to smoke, did you guys, I remember you guys earlier talked about Kwaku and why is he on Ward Radio? Did you guys get an answer to that?
I don't have an answer to that. What's the answer?
You know?
So, yes, because I used to be in the Ward Radio Discord and I still hang out on their YouTube.
You are a useful spy. Go on.
I'm not a spy. It's public information, you guys. Come on.
That's all I say.
He's Switzerland.
Right? Yeah, I have no stake in the fight. But there was a Ward Radio episode a while back. I want to say to like 2 to 3 months ago that that Kwaku said something about he's a part of he bought or was participating in the buying of the josephsmith.com. Yeah, and he's been working with the Joseph Smith Foundation.
Oh.
And then before that he's also had a company. Yeah, before that he's also talked about his company on the show that he owns.
What company is that? You mean the Young and Dumb?
The Young and Dumb. It's Young and Dumb, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think he's still a part of that. I haven't talked with him personally, but he's cool.
It's actually eponymous.
It's what?
Eponymous.
That's a fancy word.
Yes, and if you understood what the word means, you would be laughing hysterically right now.
I don't know what it means.
I don't know.
You got me chuckling.
Young and Dumb is eponymous. Kwaku's Young and Dumb company. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to call in and just chat, hang out with you guys and hang out with the chat for a few minutes and just kind of share that because that's been out for a few months.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so that's why he just hasn't been on.
I think ours was funnier, but I think yours was more honest and truthful.
I didn't hear what yours was, what your theory was.
What was our theory, RFM?
Well, there is a video out there.
Reincarnation.
Remarkably like Kwaku, except for the 70s porn stash.
He's had that for a hot minute.
He doesn't anymore?
I don't know. I haven't been like watching all of Ward Radio stuff, because
this isn't Ward Radio. This is separate.
Oh, it's separate. Okay.
By the way, folks, if you want to picture what Kwaku's mustache looks like, all you have to do is take off Diamond Dave's beard, and then you would have Kwaku's mustache.
No, I'm going to say this right now because this is a loving pet name that he was given in the chat. Lando Calrissian, and he did not know what it was initially. It was on an episode. So
kind of embarrassing, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. He's what? He's younger, so I don't.
The droids you look for.
Yeah, I don't expect him to get the reference, but he's cool, and I mean, I don't know. He's rocking it from what I've heard. He's doing good, so I'm happy for him personally.
Well, I certainly wish him the best. I texted him a while back, and he hasn't gotten back to me. So, by the way, if you're watching, which is very little chance of that, Kwaku, return my text. I care about you. I want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I just want him to be happy no matter what he chooses. So he seems like a cool dude.
Totally. I think Kwaku, if nothing else, Kwaku is a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. One quick thing, because we were talking about this early. So a jury summons.
Yes.
Isn't there a way to get out of that legally?
Yes. One way is to die. Another way is to kill somebody else, so you're in jail when the trial comes around. But the only way you can get out of it, really, is if you contact the clerk's office who issues it, or maybe the court administrator's office. It's probably the court anyway. It's an office over there in the courthouse. And contact them, talk to them, explain to them why it is that you can't go in. And if they say, okay, you don't have to come in, then you're fine.
Okay.
But they don't go out and arrest people.
I didn't think so, because like I was talking with a couple people, and it's like, oh, if they're going to do that, I'll just leave the country, or I'll just bounce state, So
that's pretty severe. Diamond Dave, I think you just brought to mind the point I was trying to get to, but I never did.
Oh, good.
When the judge came out, he let us know that more than 50% of the people who get the jury summons don't show up.
Interesting. Can't say I blame him. It's not something I would want to do personally.
No, and most people don't want to do it. In fact, as an attorney, or at least as a prosecutor, I recall that one of the reasons that you would bump somebody is if they wanted to be on a jury. The last person you want on a jury is somebody who wants to be on a jury. So
what you're saying is, if I ever get a jury duty summons, act like I really want to be there, so they bump me off.
I love this case. This is a great case. I love
this. This is a great case. I can't wait to convict this guy. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay.
I don't think you want to say all that. That seems like that would cross a line, right, RFM? You can't say.
That would disqualify me, though, right?
Now you're asking me, what lies should you tell to the court so you can get bumped from doing your civic duty? If
you can't answer, then don't answer. But
as an officer of the court, I abstain from answering that question, and I disdain the people who ask it.
Treat it like you're talking to your bishop.
I don't recall the last time I've talked to my bishop. That's why I'm asking. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you asking? Oh, if you have to show up, or if to get cleared?
Yeah. Like if you have to show up.
If you don't show up, they're not going to come and knock your door down. Okay.
Okay, but someone in the chat is saying that in her county, the sheriffs show up at your door. I don't know.
They might. It's up to them, because they can, under the law.
They can. It's just a matter of whether or not they choose to, basically.
Actually, I'm not sure. How could you show up and arrest somebody for a summons that wasn't served on them, but was simply mailed? I don't know. That doesn't seem to comport with due process. But regardless, now I'm getting off into this. Different states do things differently up here. They're not going to come knock your door down. But you should serve on the jury, because every week throughout this country, hundreds, if not thousands of people are making sacrifices, the same sacrifices that you, Diamond Dave, are complaining about, to serve on a jury. And that is a foundational pillar of our entire system. Without it, it goes to rack and to ruin. So shame on you, Diamond Dave. Shame on you for asking how you can get out of doing jury.
Applause.
Good day, sir.
Applause in the chat. Applause in the chat, guys. Everyone clap hands in the chat.
All right. Well, Dave, I guess that sort of answers your question. If you get called to serve on jury duty, you should just go.
I got you. You guys have a good night. Take
it easy.
Good seeing you, Diamond Dave. I always feel like 10% cooler after talking to Diamond Dave.
Yeah, the Davinator livens up the show.
Making copies for the Davinator, the Dave-O-Rama.
Baron von George Davenhamer Meister. All right, let's see here. I think we've got a Parker.
Peter Parker?
I don't think it's Peter. Is this Peter Parker or just Parker? Oh, let me give me 1 second.
Just Parker.
Just Parker.
I've only gotten that joke twice.
Really?
He's had it happen 1,000 times.
Oh, today. Twice today.
Okay, Peter Parker. You know, that makes me happy that Peter Parker is so famous because Spider-Man saved me when I was a kid. I'll write about it in my upcoming book. Is it David Parker? David, what brings you to our humble show?
Yeah.
It's not Dave. It's not Peter's cousin Dave either. It's
Dave's not here.
Or uncle.
Or uncle. No.
What's your name, man? Spit it out.
No. What's your social security number too? Make sure you give us both.
Yeah. Okay, let me pull it out real quick.
Whoa!
You want my address too?
Well, this may not be a kids show, but
pardon me while I whip this out. What's your name, damn it?
So my question was,
first your name.
Parker.
It's just Parker?
Yeah, the last guy was Dave, Diamond Dave.
Just
like Parker Stevenson.
Yeah. I'll go with Peter Parker if this is the dance.
Okay, Parker, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So my question is what do I do with my in-laws and my family, for that matter, that are super into the church, and how to set boundaries with them? They are very pushy on the church on trying to save me and my family, and like I try and be nice and respectful, but to them I'm the lazy Mormon. Yeah.
One question, Parker.
I'm curious on what you guys. Yeah.
One question: is murder completely out of the question?
Thanksgiving's.
I think so. Thanksgiving, Christmas. Yeah.
When you set boundaries, you set a consequence for those boundaries. Like, hey, this is what crosses my boundary, and my boundary is this. My boundary is that we don't talk religion when whatever it is. And then there's a consequence for your boundary. And you also give them something of equal value, meaning I also promise I won't talk about it either, because it's unfair if you get to say the thing and they don't. So you're letting them know that you're not going to violate that boundary either. That boundary holds to you as well. And then there's a consequence. And then even if that consequence is familial distance and a lack of connection, then that's the consequence for crossing a boundary.
What do you think of those apples, Parker?
I think it's great advice. The hard part is they cannot go a day without talking about church, about talking, oh, did you hear about this conference talk? And they're in the group chat, sent videos of, are you seeing what's happening right before your eyes? Stuff like,
Here's what I would do.
It's all over the place. And
Parker, how old are you?
I'm 31.
31. I'm 64. I'm more than twice as old as you. And with all of my experience, here's what I would do. I would make such an ass of myself that they would stop that group text and create a separate group text without you included, that they would then use to carry on in a similar vein.
I don't like that one, RFM.
I know, because you're healthy.
I don't want to push them away either. That's the other problem.
Yeah, it gives them a way to tell a story about you. They get to declare the narrative about you, whereas if you set a boundary, it's your story. It's your story got lived out loud. They don't get to guess about it. It was said why you went away. But
haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Living well is
and I know where they're coming from.
It's the most.
I know where they're coming from.
It's the most important thing in the world to them.
Yeah. They need to save me and my family.
Yeah.
Like they need to teach my kids about baptism and
your particular religious
they're
belief
gonna tell
your particular religious belief.
They're
going
to tell my
chance to do that. I'm sorry. No. I'm just go ahead, my friend.
Yeah.
I'm being rude.
Yeah. No. no, I know there's a little bit of a lag. I hate to push them away because they are great people, and they're great grandparents to my kids. I got 3-year-old twins, and they're just the best until they have to push the church. And it really doesn't bother me when they talk to me about it, but when they try and push it on my kids, that's like it really
Parker
boils.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need to have a serious talk with you. All right. Bill gave you excellent advice, and right now you're doing all sorts of things in order to avoid that advice.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to tell you 5 words that are going to change your life. They're 5 words that a friend of mine told me not that long ago. It took me a long time to hear this, to be in a position to hear this. Ready for the 5 words?
Right.
You get what you tolerate. Those are the 5 words. You will get what you tolerate. And when you stop tolerating it, you'll stop getting it.
Mm.
And yes, that was a freaking chiasm, which proves that's true.
Mm. I felt the Holy Ghost. I felt elevation motion on my neck, and my hair stood up.
I feel it too. Yeah.
You can do this.
Yeah. And
you
and by
have
the
the
way,
power.
Right.
Open your mouth and God will fill it with the words that you need to say.
Yeah. And it may not be something that lasts forever anyway. Again, if you stop tolerating something, and that means some sort of familial distance, in most of those cases, people sort of figure it out, and they, if it's done the right way, they come back and try to reconnect. And they maybe they just need to know you're serious.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. I've got another question, but maybe I'll save it for the next time I call in, and it's about my side of the family.
The reason I want you to save that question is because I don't want it to detract from the importance of what we've talked about tonight.
Mm.
Correct. Yeah.
That's life-changing.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You guys are great.
My best thoughts go with you.
Stay codified.
I'm with you in spirit, Mr. Codified.
Okay. That was a fun call. Folks, I think a really cool facet of Mormonism After Dark is to have somebody call up and pose a problem. And anyway, I thought that was a lot of fun. Thank you, RFM, for...
I think we could be a great life coach team together, Mr.
We
Rio.
should. Folks, we're going to start our first group Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. If you want to be in the Mormonism After Dark therapy group, please email the show, and we'll start accumulating a list. And once we get to a number that, is reasonable for us, at least 3, we'll start the therapy.
Yeah, usually the best thing you can do to be healthy is the opposite of what I do.
Sorry, in that case it was, not generally, but in that one. You sometimes come with some piss and vinegar, you know that?
I'll have to review this. Right now I feel like I'm being moved upon by the Holy Ghost, like my muse is working overtime.
All right. I'm gonna go to the next one if that's okay.
Here's this.
I'm
listening.
There's a Mormon Kelsey Grammer. Yes, in some ways he is.
Hello, Niles.
Okay, we've got a person down there, but we do have a caller first. So, caller, what's the name?
Hi, I'm Rex.
Rex in effects. Rex in effects.
Rex, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys for taking my call. This is a brilliant show. I mean, that last call was great. And Mosiah, he's a genius. I would love to see more of him.
He really is. And he has an endless supply, a cornucopia even, of sound effects.
Oh, I know. I love the sound effects. Those are amazing. So I wanted to kind of pick your guys' brains for a second. I've been doing a bit of research for a creative project I've been working on. And essentially what I'd like to do is depict an interpretation of the afterlife, as it's understood by Mormonism in some way. So I wanted to know if you guys can take this however you want, but if you know of anything to read, or if you just want to speculate or whatever, like, what do you think the afterlife, the celestial kingdom or the celestial kingdom, just kind of that whole hierarchy, like, what is that actually like? Or,
well,
like,
Rex, I have to
description?
tell you that as a faithful Mormon and starting to question things that I've been taught for many, many years as a member of the church, there was a very disquieting moment when it occurred to me that the celestial kingdom might very well be watching an endless loop of general conference talks for eternity.
And that's what they
I can
call
totally
heaven.
see that.
Whew. I'll take the smoothie. Oh my goodness.
What do you think about that question, Mr. Real?
If you went off of what Mormonism has said about heaven, I mean, you've got servants, you have to portray people of color and all of that. You have to capture the handicapped people, what was said. I mean, you could essentially, if you held Mormon leaders, the ones that said the things that are crazy, to their words, you could depict Mormon heaven in such a way, or the end part of the plan of salvation who doesn't make it as well. And it would just be off the wall insane. And nobody would believe, if you put that all in one place, that Mormonism captured all of that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm kind of hoping to, I guess, discover as I'm writing about this is, when you think about what the actual consequences would be of kind of this hierarchy that's created. That last Mormonism live episode you guys did, there was a minute where you talked about like ministering angels. Like these people who, I mean, are these essentially, thralls or slaves?
They are.
These higher people. It's nuts.
Yeah, it's the Manning James of the church. It's the people who were in subservient role. Yeah, I mean, anybody who makes the lower two kingdoms. So if you didn't get sealed for all eternity, if you were, according to Mark E. Peterson, if you were a person of color, and so that's just another facet that would be insane.
I can tell you a secret, though. The terrestrial kingdom, that's where it's really happening, man.
Yeah, in the middle, huh?
I mean, there'd be so many people there, too.
Oh, yeah. And I'll be the DJ.
Well, I hope I see you there.
It's a date.
Yeah, you'd have to have,
thanks,
you'd have polygamy and stuff in there too. So you've got another facet you need to add to it. I can't wait. When you get this done,
I know.
We want to see you back on here, and we'd like to play it on Mormonism After Dark first.
Oh, absolutely.
But you got to keep it
under.
Ways
out. I got to figure all this stuff out.
This can't be a 2-hour movie, though. It's got to be like a 10-minute flick, and we'll play it at the show.
Like Bambi meets Godzilla.
Oh, I wish I could make a 2-hour movie.
There you go. Okay, we'll stick to the shorter one. And we'll play it. We'd love to let us know when you get it done. That'd be really cool.
Has anybody out there ever seen the movie Bambi meets Godzilla?
It doesn't end well for Bambi, does it?
It's a very short movie.
It is. It doesn't last long. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm going to end the call. Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
All right, 9:14 p.m. We still got a little time. What else were you thinking about? What else is going on in your world, RFM?
Oh, my word. Well, I just recorded something. By the way, I need to have a little conversation with you, Mr. Real. Can we let the audience see what kind of conversation happens on a regular basis behind the scenes?
Sure. Let's let people know. What do you got there?
Okay, so I just got done recording episode 370 of Radio Free Mormon.
Okay.
It's the edited version, which I always have to stress because I live in perpetual fear that Bill is going to accidentally put up the unedited version that happened for a few episodes, unbeknownst to me, much earlier this year. And I would hate to have that happen again. So we got that corrected, by which I mean Bill got it corrected. So it's the edited version. It's got the name on it. It's called Is Shakespeare in the Book of Mormon? Do you have it in front of you? Are you looking at it right now? I can't hear you, but you're nodding your head, so I think that's probably yes.
It is Shakespeare. Is Shakespeare in the Book of Mormon? ? The key to unlocking, and then I don't know what the rest of that says. That's 3 dots.
Yes, the key to unlocking Mormon apologists arguments or something like that. It's a subtitle. So anyway, and if you would take that, maybe you can put Shakespeare on one side, you can put a Book of Mormon on the other side, but that's just kind of pedestrian stuff. What if you took Shakespeare's face and put it on a Mormon missionary with a name tag holding the Book of Mormon? With the long hair even.
Yep.
That would be next level.
This would be the thumbnail. A Mormon missionary with Shakespeare's head holding a Book of Mormon.
Yes, that's my idea. What do you think?
Okay. I always try to bring your ideas to fruition. So every time we get one done, I take a picture, I send it off to you. And most of the time you go, perfect.
I usually do. And then I always say perfect. And then I give a suggestion or two to modify it.
Sometimes it's perfect, but you're right. Sometimes you come back and go, let's change the background color, or let's add that in. But I do, like, you're the creator of the content. The thumbnail should represent your creativity.
Sometimes it does, but usually, I mean, you're the master. You are the master of the painting on the canvas. You're the master of the canvas, is what you are.
Yeah, look at that. I'm the Picasso of Radio Free Mormon.
Yes, you are. So, and I don't want this to preview tomorrow night. Okay. I'll be at the theater tomorrow night.
Are you going to have those
local production of Legally Blonde? What's that?
Are you going to have those things with the one stick on the side and you just hold it and sit near the front? And you're just
expect you're referring to opera glasses, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Would they work? Would they not work at a concert?
It would be fine. It would be fine. I'll just have my regular glasses on, and with those, I should be able to see what's going on the stage perfectly well.
You do whatever you want to do. It's your life. You should live it to the fullest.
It's a beautiful theater. It's a classic theater. It's one of these old theaters. It was built in 1924. Or is it 26? No, it's 26 because in 2 years it'll be the 100th anniversary. So it's not big. But it's really, really beautiful. I'm sorry, what?
I almost got you messing it up. If you would have said 1824, I was gonna hold you to that answer.
Well, I almost said 19. Did I say 1824?
No, 1924. I meant. I knew it was the
20. That would make this year the 100th, and it wasn't. So we still got 2 more years. But it's a 1926 theater. Beautiful, beautiful theater, and we're gonna go watch a wonderful show called Legally Blonde tomorrow. And just by coincidence, the legal receptionist in the building, her daughter, who's extremely talented, is going to have the lead role in the show.
Nice. It's always nice.
All the pieces come together and you can see what's going on.
Yeah. Always nice when someone you know is in the show. It makes it, I think, more fun to watch.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Super cool.
Did that at all respond to the question you asked me initially?
What was my question initially?
I have no idea.
Me either. But let's just assume that took care of it.
So there's nobody else who's calling in. Is that what you're telling me?
There is no one else calling in.
Holy crap.
So we're at 918.
There's 314 of you out there.
Yeah, 316. Look at that, flying up by the moment. I'm in the middle of reading.
Says, Hell is empty. All the devils are in the quorum of the 70. A nice riff on The Tempest, I think. Act 1, Scene 1, probably.
Look at that.
Hell is empty and all the devils are here. I think that's how the line goes in the original. Very nice.
So he's trying to say that here is where the devils are, is the quorum of the 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I'm reading the book, The 19th Wife, or Wife Number 19. It's one of the wives of Brigham Young who sort of apostatizes. Yeah, Eliza and...
But her last name was Young.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think what her maiden name was. Anyway, I'm probably only, it's a big book, and I'm listening to it on Audible, and I'm only probably 20% through it, and it's phenomenal. It's a book I've never read, and at the time where I was going to read it, I was still in the church, and people on the apologetic side said, "No, you don't want to. You don't want to read that book. It's." I just knocked my mic down. You don't want to read that book. It's.
I don't think anybody noticed.
I think the entire world listening, except for the portion of the deaf portion of our audience, they wouldn't have noticed, but everyone else would have. It was horrific.
Nice, Bill, making fun of the disabled.
No, I was actually praising them. They got lucky and didn't have to hear that. All right, so now, okay, so, what was I saying? You got to help me out.
I have no idea.
Here.
I'm waiting for you to remember.
I don't remember. That just makes it all the worse. All right. Anyway, wife
I'm
number
sure
19.
paying enough attention to be able to tell you.
I was 20% in to the wife number 19 with a
That's
handle.
what it was.
Young.
Is that the rule of thumb?
And it was so good. She goes over how the rule of thumb. What does that mean? I don't.
You said you were 20% into wife number 19.
That's not even apostasy.
This is a family show, Bill. Keep it clean.
Oh man, that wasn't even the 4 inches that what's his name got in trouble for.
CAR.
I don't know.
Cardigan, somebody with the last name. Okay, go ahead. So you're reading this book, but you're cheating because you're actually listening to somebody else read it. You're about a fifth of the way through this book on audio, and what?
And it's just a fantastic book. She talks about how Mormonism, how Brigham Young, how the church manipulated her parents, how it manipulated her. Talks about polygamy and what it's like to be wife number 1 and what it's like to be wife number 2, and all the stuff that folks have to sort of think about and feel shit about. And it was really good. It was so I highly recommend it. Again, I'm only partway through, but I highly recommend that folks read it. It is absolutely worth your time. And it was dismissed. The apologists told me don't read it, RFM, back when I wanted to, because they kind of portrayed it as her being dishonest and not telling the truth. She's not trustable. It's the old adage. But when you're a believer, it sort of works. Like you sort of learn from the apologist who is trustworthy and who isn't. And it comes across as just a truthful telling of her story. Now, I'm sure there's a part or two where maybe she's embellishing or she's replying to something that she didn't see firsthand. But I think for the most part, it's just a phenomenal telling of her life story and what she observed.
It's a famous book, one that I have heard of but never read.
Yeah.
I'm trying to correct that with some books. I will tell you, I'm very excited about what I recorded this morning. By the way, did you get that thing scheduled? I didn't say when to schedule it.
No, I haven't. I mean, I'm in the middle of doing a show with you, so I wasn't going to just stop. I did download it, but I wasn't going to do anything else. I can barely stay focused here, as you're noticing by me knocking over my microphone and crashing everybody's ears.
That's what distracted me. And
me too.
So I don't want it to be tomorrow night because I'm going to the show, Legally Blonde.
Yes.
So can you schedule it for Monday at 8 Sunday at 8 o'clock your time?
Sunday.
Because by then Carrie should be done with his UFO show.
Yeah. Sunday, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Carrie's show's over. Yours can play. This will be Radio Free Mormon. And
episode 370, by the way.
Is Shakespeare in the Book of Mormon the key to unlocking, you said Book of Mormon?
Book of Mormon Apologetics.
Book of Mormon Apologetics.
It's all there.
Love it. Awesome. So, folks, you can look forward to that tomorrow or Sunday night at 8 p.m. And enjoy yourself at the show tomorrow, even though you're not taking your opera glasses.
Excuse me. Well, I will tell you that the reason for that, there's a reason for that, and that is that I do like to be in the live chat when my shows premiere, because I like to interact with the other people in the live chat. I think it's a lot of fun, and I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah. Well, you are the one that gets to schedule it, so you actually don't have to miss it for the world.
Yes. It's good to be the king.
Oh, my goodness. Anything else from you? I can check and see if we've got any more callers, and we don't. So I'm going to end the call-in studio.
Everyone's so shy tonight. I think it was the Edmunds Tucker Act that intimidated.
That was me ending the show, the call-in portion, so not RFM swearing and getting censored.
I'm very excited about this show. It talks about Shakespeare in the Book of Mormon, which is a question mark, right?
Yeah.
And deservedly so. But Bill, it serves as an introduction at the end into that response to Book of Mormon apologetics that we talked about at length on the phone more than once. And it's an introduction, and I say at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show that we've talked about it. You're very excited. Also talking about how I'm not sure I'm saying this clearly enough, and please let me know in the comments, because it's a concept that has been difficult for me to put into words, but I think I've got the words now. And to let everybody know that you and I will be doing a Mormonism Live on the subject with more detail, more depth, sometime in the near future.
Yeah, folks, I would just make sure you tune in Sunday at 8 p.m. Mountain Time on our YouTube channel. Check out the newest episode of Radio Free Mormon. I don't think it's one you're going to want to miss. I think RFM makes a connection that cuts a leg out of the table of apologetics and how those responses happen. And I think it's a connection that I don't think anybody makes. I think people look at the problem from the wrong side of the coin. And I think you make a great observation. So folks, please tune in.
Thank you very much, Mr. Real. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Anything else from you? Otherwise, we'll just shut her down for the night.
No, it's been wonderful. I love being here on Friday evenings, sharing it with you, Mr. Real, who I also see on Wednesdays and Mondays and pretty much every day in between when we're talking about the upcoming shows, but especially with everybody here who joins us on this Friday evening for Mormonism After Dark, to have a good time, to hang out, to share a few laughs, hopefully be offended at least once, and to be able to enjoy this community that we have on this show and in the post-Mormon world. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Good night and have a great weekend.
Good night, everyone.